Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber CISSP Prepcast. This series helps you prepare for the ISC Squared CISSP exam with focused explanations and practical context. In this episode, we are going to take a deep dive into security governance. Governance is not just a buzzword or an abstract management concept. It is the foundation for everything a cybersecurity professional does within an organization. Security governance establishes the rules, expectations, oversight, and accountability systems that allow security programs to function effectively. It ensures that the work we do in cybersecurity is not just technically sound, but also aligned with the organization's mission, values, and risk tolerance. For anyone preparing for the Certified Information Systems Security Professional exam, a clear understanding of governance principles is absolutely essential. Whether you are responding to risk, setting policy, or selecting a control framework, your choices need to support the broader objectives of the business. The ability to link day-to-day security actions with long-term strategic goals is what separates a practitioner from a leader, and that is what the CISSP is all about. Let us begin with a general definition. Security governance refers to the system by which an organization manages and controls its cybersecurity efforts. It involves setting clear policies, defining responsibilities, and creating oversight mechanisms to ensure risks are properly managed. Good governance answers the question, who is responsible for making decisions, how are those decisions made, and how do we hold people accountable? In practical terms, this means aligning cybersecurity with business goals. For example, a company focused on rapid product delivery might accept more risk in order to move faster. A financial institution, on the other hand, might choose a more conservative risk posture because of strict regulations and customer expectations. Security governance helps translate these priorities into policies, controls, and procedures that guide action throughout the organization. Effective governance also requires integration. That means the security function cannot exist in a silo. Instead, cybersecurity roles and responsibilities must be clearly defined across departments, business units, and leadership levels. Governance connects everything from risk assessments to budget decisions to compliance tracking. It brings structure, visibility, and purpose to security programs. It is also important to understand that governance encompasses multiple domains. It includes risk management, compliance with regulations, performance measurement, and policy enforcement. By establishing who does what, how decisions are made, and how performance is evaluated, governance creates a clear and consistent foundation for security efforts. Without this structure, even the best security tools or teams can fail due to lack of direction or accountability. Next, let us talk about the frameworks that support strong governance. These frameworks are structured sets of guidelines, standards, and best practices designed to help organizations manage cybersecurity in a consistent and effective way. The first one to know is the NIST Cybersecurity Framework, developed by the National Institute of Standards and Technology. This framework outlines 5 core functions: identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. These functions are meant to be flexible and scalable, so that organizations of all sizes can use them to guide their cybersecurity efforts. Another widely used governance standard is the ISO/IEC 2701 and 2722. These international standards are focused on building and maintaining information security management systems, also known as ISMS. They provide detailed guidance on how to manage policies, assess risks, assign roles, and continually improve security over time. They are particularly helpful for organizations that operate globally or must meet compliance requirements in different jurisdictions. COBIT is another important framework. Originally developed for information technology governance, COBIT emphasizes aligning technology with business goals. It is used to ensure that IT services and cybersecurity controls are not only technically sound, but also delivering value and supporting strategic outcomes. If your role includes oversight of both IT and security, COBIT can help ensure that governance is consistent across both areas. You should also be familiar with the CIS controls. These are a set of prioritized actions designed to help organizations reduce their overall attack surface and improve their security posture. The controls are updated regularly and based on current threat intelligence. They provide a practical, hands-on way to apply governance principles, particularly for small to mid-size organizations looking for immediate impact. Choosing the right governance framework depends on your organization's needs, industry regulations, and business context. Some organizations may use a combination of frameworks. For instance, they might use the NIST cybersecurity framework for overall strategy, ISO 271 for compliance management, and CIS controls for operational priorities. The key is to understand the strengths of each framework and how they complement one another. Now let us shift to developing effective security strategies. Governance alone is not enough. You need a strategy that puts your governance into action. A security strategy starts with understanding what the organization wants to achieve. What are the business goals? What level of risk is acceptable? How much investment in cybersecurity is realistic, given the budget and priorities? Once you have that understanding, your strategy defines how cybersecurity resources will be used to support those goals. For example, if the company plans to move heavily into cloud computing, your strategy might prioritize cloud security architecture, vendor risk assessments, and staff training in cloud platforms. If the organization is preparing for a merger, the strategy might emphasize data integration, due diligence, and post-merger access control. Risk assessments are central to any strategy. You cannot protect what you do not understand, and you cannot allocate resources effectively without knowing where the greatest threats lie. An ongoing risk assessment process helps ensure that your strategy stays current and responsive. It is not something you do once and forget. It is a continuous process that shapes the evolution of your entire security program. Communication is also critical. Everyone in the organization, from board members to frontline employees, needs to understand the strategic goals of the security program. When people know why certain controls exist, they are more likely to follow them. When they understand how cybersecurity supports the business, they are more likely to treat it as a shared responsibility. Finally, good strategies include mechanisms for continuous improvement. The threat landscape changes constantly. Business priorities shift, new technologies emerge. A strategy that cannot evolve will eventually become a liability. Built-in review processes, performance metrics, and feedback loops help ensure your security program remains agile and effective over time. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other podcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Now, let us explore the different roles and responsibilities involved in governance. It starts at the top, with the board of directors. The board is ultimately accountable for cybersecurity oversight. They may not be involved in day-to-day operations, but they are responsible for setting risk tolerance, approving major policies, and ensuring the organization is properly managing its cybersecurity obligations. Executive management plays a crucial role in translating those governance expectations into action. This includes allocating budgets, setting performance targets, and integrating cybersecurity into broader business planning. The Chief Information Security Officer, or CISO, acts as the bridge between strategy and operations. The CISO makes sure that governance goals are reflected in security architecture, policy implementation, and incident response planning. Security professionals at all levels also have roles to play. Analysts, engineers, and managers implement the controls and monitor compliance with policies. Their work provides the data that feeds into governance reviews, audits, and risk reports. Clear definitions of roles and responsibilities help avoid duplication, reduce gaps, and increase accountability. Everyone knows what they are supposed to do and how their work supports the larger goals of the organization. Let us wrap up by talking about how to measure governance effectiveness. After all, you cannot improve what you do not measure. Governance effectiveness is often evaluated using metrics and key performance indicators, sometimes called KPIs. These might include the number of incidents detected and resolved, time to response, policy compliance rates, or the results of internal audits. Regular assessments are also important. These can be formal audits or self-assessments that check whether policies are being followed and controls are working as expected. Regulatory compliance reviews are another way to validate that governance frameworks are being implemented properly. If you are in a regulated industry, failing these assessments can result in fines or loss of trust. Beyond quantitative data, Qualitative feedback is also valuable. This includes surveys, stakeholder interviews, and feedback from business units. Are employees aware of their responsibilities? Do managers feel supported by the security team? Does leadership believe the strategy is working? These kinds of questions can provide insights that numbers alone cannot capture. Finally, governance must be treated as a living process. It requires regular review and refinement. A framework that worked last year may be less effective today due to changes in business priorities, new technologies, or evolving threats. Continuous monitoring and periodic evaluations ensure that governance practices remain aligned with both organizational needs and real-world challenges. Thanks for tuning in to the CISSP Prepcast by Bare Metal Cyber. For more insightful episodes, comprehensive study tools, and dedicated CISSP exam preparation resources, visit baremetalcyber.com. Keep deepening your cybersecurity expertise, stay focused, and we'll guide you steadily towards CISSP certification success.